The ending of One Piece is going to be horrible. Yes, I said it. And I don't care if One Piece fans get mad because I know I'm right. Let me be clear though. I don't mean that the way the story wraps up is going to be bad. In fact, I think it's going to be perfect and frankly the most amazing conclusion to any story ever. I have full trust in Oda. It's just that, so one, I'm really gonna be sad when it's done. I'm gonna be really sad. Two, a large majority of the fans won't like it because they won't get it. Three, the ending is going to be spoiled, and just like point number two, people who have not seen or read One Piece are not going to understand it. And finally, number four, I think One Piece is a story that could only be done once. I'll explain, starting with point number one. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I love One Piece. Other than my parents, my family, and my friends who have known me much longer, it is the most consistent thing in my life. I have been reading a chapter a week every week, excluding breaks, ever since I caught up to the story almost 20 years ago. It is my favorite story of all time, and when it's gone, there's definitely going to be a void that I don't think can ever be filled, even if I reread it. One Piece is just too expansive, too funny, too emotional, too joyful, too wonderful to be replicated by anyone in my lifetime. And I have to come to terms with, and I'm grateful that I was born when I was born to be part of the journey. That being said, for points 2, 3, and 4, if I am to quote the man himself, Mr. Eiichiro Oda, this is a matter of reading comprehension. You see, if you have not read or watched One Piece, I don't think the end of One Piece is going to make sense to you. If you are spoiled when the One Piece is revealed without context, knowing the kind of man Oda is, and let me tell you, he is a silly, goofy, unserious man, that treasure is probably not going to be something that sounds like the great treasure we've been hyped to see for 3 decades. I mean, even Roger laughed when he found the One Piece, and to this day, we're still wondering what the hell was so funny. Humor is extremely subjective, and that joke is not going to hit without context. The thing is, One Piece is goofy, it is funny, it is silly, and it is unserious. But it's these qualities that make the serious, dark, reflective, exciting, and emotional moments hit even harder. However, I'm aware that a huge portion of the fan base don't like that. I mean, way too many people are caught up in agenda and fights and headcanon that are only just not really important to Oda, but they get so caught up that they miss the joy and fun of the adventure. So many people are worried about catching up, so they skip episodes, skip arcs. Some only watch highlights on Instagram and TikTok because all they care about is being in the know and getting to the treasure, but not actually taking the time to enjoy the ride. That's the wrong way to experience One Piece. And although I have faith in One Piece's ability to bring surface level joy, that's not the way to truly enjoy anything. One Piece is art, and art should be savored with an open mind, patience, and grace. It should also be fun.
俺も一個だけ聞きてんだけど、一つだけの代表、ワンピースってのは本当に最高だ。宝がどこにあるかなんて聞きたくねえ。宝があるかないかなんて聞きたくねえ。何もわかんねえけど、みんなそうやって命がけで海へ出てんだよ。ここでおっさんから何か教えてもらうんなら、俺は海賊をやめる。つまんねえ冒険なら俺は死ねえ。
In the preceding clip, a lot of people are Usopp, but they should really try to be Luffy, because that is how you enjoy One Piece to the fullest. Which brings me to point 3 and 4. Specifically, if you find out what the One Piece is before reading or watching the story, then what's the point? Where's the joy in an adventure where you know how everything is going to play out? But not just that, where's the joy in knowing how, but not why it plays out that way? As I said earlier, the One Piece is probably not going to be something serious, at least to non-fans. It will be important, but non-readers and non-watchers will not have the context to understand the significance of what the One Piece is. I can guarantee that it just won't hit the same. Experiencing the story, especially one of this magnitude, and not knowing how it ends. That's no fun. There's no mystery, there's no tension. Sure, we can get impatient having to wait an entire week after an exciting episode or chapter, but do you know how fun it is making theories with my friends every week, thinking we know what's going to happen next chapter, and then boom, Oda throws us a curveball? This man has a skill for pulling out rabbits and cards from a hat that we didn't even know existed. He keeps us on our toes. He teases us. He answers one question that raises 5 more. And along with fantastic characters and a living, breathing, expansive world, it's truly what has kept us hooked and interested all of these years. That tension will not hit the same when the series is complete. At least not until the hype dies down and there are people who have somehow managed to avoid spoilers. My advice to you is that the right time to start One Piece is now. Don't worry about how long it is. Don't worry about when you're going to finish. No one is asking you to read 30 chapters or watch 30 episodes a day. No one is asking you to binge. In fact, it is almost guaranteed that after too much of anything, you will get fatigued. And that's okay. Take a break. Maybe watch or read something else until you're ready to pick it up again. We probably have another 7 years until the story is over, and that's more than enough time to catch up at a reasonable pace. The goal is, when you do take the time to dive into the wonderful world that is One Piece, experience it with an open mind, an open heart, and most of all, with an eye for adventure.